In the final weekend leading to Angola's general elections, the ruling MPLA party held its last rally. According to the People's Movement for the Liberation of Angola, who has been in power for the last 47 years, around 600,000 people attended the meeting organized in the outskirts of Luanda. President João Lourenço, who is running for a second term, took to the stage to defend his actions since 2017 and also shared some political promises, such as boosting the electricity production and building new refineries. We have reminded you what this government has done for 5 years. Even though we had to live with a pandemic as important as the COVID-19 pandemic for half of that period. Angolans have been able to see the many new things brought up during this mandate, and that has only one meaning: the MPLA is a serious party. João Lourenço closed the last mass act, as they call it here in Angola, calling his supporters to vote. In his speech, he listed decisions taken by his government over the last 5 years without attacking his opponents. Former Ivorian First Lady Simone Gbagbo formally launched her political party 3 years before the presidential election. Only candidate Simone Gbagbo became president of the MGC, Movement of Capable Generations, on Saturday. This decision is an additional evidence of the end of her partnership with her soon-to-be ex-husband Laurent Gbagbo, by whom she stood during the 10 years of his presidency and his judicial setbacks. We are a party that has an ideal of building a reconciled Ivory Coast full of justice and equity. The 73-year-old politician criticized Alassane Ouattara's national reconciliation process, under which her ex-partner was given presidential pardon 2 weeks ago. The presidential pardon granted to President Laurent Gbagbo as an amnesty further weights on the socio-political atmosphere of the country, so we won't say thank you to Alassane Ouattara. Laurent Gbagbo's amnesty could still stop him from running as candidate in the 2025 election. The couple Laurent and Simone Gbagbo were both condemned for their role in the post-election violence in 2010. The MGC vows to fight discrimination, defend loyalty, integrity, and incorruptibility. A week after being declared second in the presidential race, Raila Odinga says he's going to seek legal action at the Supreme Court. The 5-time presidential candidate called the results, which handed the victory to Deputy President William Ruto, a joke. Monday, the president of the Electoral Commission announced 50.49% of the votes to Ruto and 48.85% his main opponent, Odinga. The same day, 4 of the 7 commissioners blamed Chairman Wafula Chebukati for his opaque management and lack of consultation. For the last 20 years, all Kenyan elections have been through disputes, leading sometimes to violent protests. This time around, any petition had to be submitted to the Supreme Court by the 22nd of August. The highest court has then 2 weeks to make a decision, which could lead to a new election within 60 days. Emergency units and police officers were securing the Hayat hotel and its surroundings in Mogadishu on Sunday following Al-Shabaab's violent attack. Authorities reported at least 20 dead and many were severely wounded between Friday evening and Saturday night. Several civilians trapped in the hotel were rescued during and after the 30-hour-long siege by security forces. During the operations, the security agents were focused on getting out the citizens. They managed to save more than 106 people, including children and women. The hotel suffered heavy damage during the gunfight between Somali forces and the terrorists. Police also had to check the building as they feared some explosives could be hidden inside. What happened here is a disaster. It is affecting us on two levels, as some of us know people who have died and are facing property destruction. The hotel siege lasted about 32 hours. Security forces and Al-Shabaab fought on top of us. As you can see, there are many properties torn. Such incidents are repetitive, and us young men are always the victims of such attacks. The Hayat Hotel is a favoured meeting spot for government officials whom Al-Shabaab militants have been targeting for the last 15 years. This is the deadliest attack committed by the Al-Qaeda-linked group since Somalia's new president took office in May. At least 20 people have now died in the long siege that took place in a Mogadishu hotel between Friday evening and Saturday night. For over 30 hours, security forces fought with Al-Shabaab militants hiding inside the Hayat hotel and filling it with explosives. Authorities said more than 100 hostages were freed. Just minutes before the blasts, two of my friends, may God grant them paradise, named Hassan Yalahau and Abdi Rashid, told me they would be leaving, but seconds later they were both killed by the blast. People fled in confusion. They were all running towards places where they thought they could be safe. The hotel began to fill with smoke and flames, and I immediately saw one of the hotel's bodyguards bleeding and another man wounded. The attack started with 2 suicide bombings, followed by an assault by multiple gunmen who entered the building, targeted civilians, and later holed up in rooms. Al-Shabaab, an Al-Qaeda-linked group that frequently perpetrates assaults to try to destabilize the government, claimed responsibility for the operation. The hotel was largely destroyed during the battle, and its manager warned explosives could still be hidden inside.